I'm Darth Sebious, and with me is the 14thCylon. How are we doing?
Hello.
Good. And we haven't quite got a name for this yet, so this is kind of untitled, but we're going to be doing a look at Titanfall for Allies Index. It's been a week since it came out, and it's been really exciting. I've been speaking to people saying, there's lots of videos, people saying, oh my god, it's amazing, and not really saying why it's amazing and what's going on. So we're going to be having a little opinion of the game, looking at weapons, loadouts, burn cards, having a look at the Titans, game modes, the DLC which has been talked about, and then trying to find some things to be critical about because it's quite hard. So I'll get going. For me, it's probably definitely the best first-person shooter I've ever played. I think I was never a massive Call of Duty fan. I kind of like it, but I think it's taken all the good things from Call of Duty and added so much more. I think it's even better than Halo because that's kind of gone downhill recently. Yeah, I didn't like Halo 4. But it's just amazing, frenetic, crazy fun. That's kind of just what I would say to start off. Is there anything you want to...
I think it's really, really smart. I think they've just taken sort of the best of everything. And, it's not necessarily new stuff that they're taking and putting into the game. It's stuff that we've seen elsewhere. The free running, you've got that in Mirror's Edge. It's... jetpacks we've seen in many other games, but they've put it together and it's just got this great kinetic energy to it that just makes the game just on a whole different pace to what you experience with Call of Duty. Even though it's got the smaller maps and you have this big pace to it, it doesn't have this just has the next step, and I think that's what it is. I don't think it's like the newest thing, I just think it's the next step.
Like you said, it's taken lots of things from other games and putting it into one thing, which makes it kind of amazing. And you mentioned the free running from like Mirror's Edge and things. Like, I think maybe we should talk about that for a bit as well, because the free running adds such dimension. Because the maps are quite big. We'll talk a bit about maps and stuff a little bit more later. But where the maps are quite large, at times it doesn't feel that way because you can constantly run, which is another amazing thing, and you run fairly fast. There's the wall riding, wall hanging, the double jump with the jump pack, and the lovely animations and things when you grab edges and heave yourself on. I mean
the maps are just like, they're some of the maps are huge in terms of just like actual distance, but you've got this whole nother you've got 2-3 tiers because you can wall jump and get yourself up into higher positions. So you're going up 3-4 stories you can be up, and it takes you nothing to get there. So you've not only got this big map in terms of one side to the other, but you've got up and down as well.
Definitely
which adds epic elements to it. The game is just every game you go into is so different because what you want to do, what your loadouts are, where I'll play the maps, and one time I'll spend the entire time inside, whereas another time I'm I'll go outside and I'll end up being on top of a building that I never even knew I could get to.
Yeah, there are lots of crazy new things to find because some things seem almost unreachable, but then you find ways around double jumping and wall riding round to more things to get higher and higher. And there's actually some really nice sniper spots, even though this game isn't massively for sniping, but we'll talk about the snipers a bit later. But so you can get these nice, good aerial positions to survey the battlefield, and this is not as in many other games where you find the glitch that lets you get as high as you can and unshot. These are proper places to get.
But you can't see the entire of the map. You can't just sit and camp there for the entire game. You have to, because the action can be anywhere and can change so quickly. You can't just stick to one spot and know that you're going to get kills because the maps are that big.
And then, but they also covered that in the map. So, for instance, with Boneyard, which is a giant dinosaur dragon skeleton through the middle, you can get to the top of that and look around, but you still can't see everything, and that's one thing they've covered quite well. If you are going to be sniping, you can't just camp. You've got to be on the move a little bit as well.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, they're not glitching places. If you kill somebody, that person then can respawn, and they'll be able to get to you just as easily as you got up there because that's sort of a part of the game.
Definitely. Yeah, the free running element is amazing, and it really adds so much to it. Should we talk a bit more about the weapons and things now?
Yeah.
So there's 9 primary weapons. You've got 3 different types of rifle, assault rifles. The carbine, which is your standard assault rifle carbine, as you have in many other games. The Hemlock, which is the 3 or later on 5 shot, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but can be effective with the 3 shot and never with the 5.
Yeah.
And you've also got the G2A4, which is an oldie style 1-shot rifle, which doesn't actually have the distance that you would imagine it would have, which is kind of odd.
It's a close range rifle. It's not even got the distance that the carbine has, which is as automatic. So it's.
But I was looking at something about them, and it's almost it is actually an archaic weapon in the game. So I think that is actually a fluff lore element. It would be, I imagine, it would be more associated with the militia not having quite as necessary all the tech that the IMC do have, although obviously they still have a buttload of Titans, which is always fun.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about the carbine, because you do like
the carbine?
Yeah, carbine.
I do like it's just a good all rounder. I mean, for me, I like to be able to shoot at long distances, but not necessarily have a sniper rifle. I like sniping, but I also like being able to get in there and close up shooting. So the carbine is perfect for me, because once you unlock like the holographic sight, you've got that distance, but you're not going to be sort of destroyed when you come across somebody that's got like like a short range weapon.
Yeah, so it's the ultimate all round, the Swiss Army carbine, as it is in many other games.
Definitely.
It's the starting weapon, and it's kind of one you keep going back to when you unlock more scopes and further clips and other things for it.
Yeah.
Said, what do you think of the Hemlock, the 3-shot?
It's disappointing. It's. I mean, I like when I play Call of Duty, I love the three round burst. It's like I said, I like to be able to do the distance, but not with a sniper. So three shots is brilliant, because just you have the stability to shoot in the distance. Whereas this one, it's got that 3 round burst, but without the range. So you can't actually shoot as far in the distance. Well, for me personally, I struggled to sort of get the kills, and it just sort of put me off of the gun. It didn't have the punch power that I wanted it to have.
It's got quite a kick on it as well. I think you can unlock a stabilizer for it later on.
Yeah, I mean it's got recoil, and I find that's acceptable, but but in terms of like damage, it wasn't producing the damage I would expect it to produce. So.
Which is kind of the same for the G2A4, the old 1-shot one. It just doesn't quite cut the mustard.
Well, I mean, it was great in close range. 1 shot, 1 kill when you're sort of almost in like, a bit further than shotgun range. But like when you're that close, it was great 1 shot, 1 kill. But I guess I thought from it just being just a 1-shot gun reload, I thought they would have such distance on it, but it just doesn't. It's not a distance gun, which it just bemused me. So.
Well, I also realised I think there's 10 point weapons, because we go on to the shotgun. I was going to say the shotgun in itself is like a lot of punch for its for what it is, and I would say that outclasses the G2A4 in that respect. Like it'd be better to have the shotgun. I really didn't like the shotgun to start off with when we played a lot of the beta, and I like to be a fair distance and take some shots, but. We had a friend, Sam, come around the other day who'd heard that it was the best gun in the game, and then proved to show that it was one of the best guns in the game.
It's such a good, It's you've just got to get used to the close range. I think it's the sort of gun that I really like. Pick it when I'm on a specific level. So if I'm playing Angel City, I know that I can get the shotgun out. Or smart pistol, because they just have they just feel that bit smaller. So I'm not like trying to shoot in distance. And I think that's what you've got to check yourself and make sure that you're not trying to shoot someone that's miles away just because you've seen the enemy and I shoot them, but you can't. You have to don't give away your position. You've got to get close first with the shotgun. It's just a different way of playing, which we're just not quite used to.
Totally, but and with the cloak and the free running, there are myriad ways you can get to people without them being too aware of you.
I know, in Call of Duty, if you see someone, you can chase them for ages because there's only so many places they can go. This game, you just lose people because they can just cloak up and then they can just, jump, wall run, they'll be miles away before you even... And there's zip lines, so just like they can be on the other side of the map and you're just thinking, I saw them go around this corner. And, yeah.
Where did they go?
I know.
Which can get really frustrating when they come back and round and find you trying to find them.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
Cat and mouse, yeah.
You mentioned the smart pistol. I literally today fall in love with it. There's another one that I didn't really like. But I realised I'd done a lot of the challenges for other weapons, and I was trying to get to my first regeneration, which is the prestige thing we'll talk about in a bit. And I just had the game of my life with the smart pistol. It takes a little while to lock on because it needs 3 hits for a pilot, but it's one hit on a grunt and 2 hits on a spectre, so that's quite nice. And you just need to be close enough and give the time.
Yeah, it just locks on itself. It is a beautiful thing, and it really is really handy. It's sort of as a medium starter gun, because if you're jumping into the game first time and you're struggling to determine pilots from the spectres, from the grunts, because the smart pistol needs 3 lock-ons to kill a pilot with 1 shot. You know, like it'll start to lock on, and you can see it doing the 3 lock-ons, so you know that's a pilot. So it's a bit handy, just to get you sort of transitioning into sort of seeing who's a pilot, who's a grunt, so that you can sort of, you know, earn your attrition points better.
Definitely, and with the grunts and the spectres and things, you can take out an entire squad in one go. And if you get 2 drop pods coming, that's 8 down, Titan's practically ready. It's not necessarily the best for pilots, but if you get to a pilot, you're going to kill him. If
it's a good sneak attack pilot gun. I mean, when you come one-on-one with a pilot and they know that you're there, you're often going to lose because you have to manually shoot then, and it's not the best. It's not got the biggest punch. So
not a gun to
if
fire.
you're fighting somebody with a carbine or a shotgun, and they know you're there, you're not going to win.
Yeah, it's not a gun to fire like unlocked, because it's nothing even like the sidearm. I think it's about something like 4 or 5 shots around the head to actually take someone down. So.
Yeah, I always find it with the smart pistol, it's really handy to swap your sidearm for a weapon, a primary weapon that's been dropped by somebody you've killed, so that you can, you know, run around with the smart pistol. But if you do come into like contact with somebody face to face, you can quickly swap to your sidearm, and you've got a nice old carbine to mow them down with.
Definitely, it's the secret agent gun, because if you get cloaked, get up close, you get them. And also the wonderful thing is it does still lock on to people that are cloaked, which is quite awesome.
So handy, because I mean the cloaking is mainly for Titans, because when you get in your Titan, it's screens that you're looking through, and so the cloak is mainly to sort of bemuse the Titan so they can't see you if you're looking for them. But it can be handy against other pilots. I mean, normally I can notice when I see somebody that's cloaked, but sort of just depending, because the lighting and stuff on the game is really good. You know, if they're in shadow, or you know, you're looking towards the sun or something, you can't always see them. So
yeah, that's very true.
Handy.
So talk about the machine guns. There's 3 machine guns. There's the R97 compact SMG, which is a little SMG sort of MP5 type.
Very dinky.
Very dinky.
Yep.
And then there's so we've got the car, which is the slightly larger SMG, which is the only weapon that seems to come in the Titanfall colours, which is odd. I don't know if you've seen that they're thinking about bringing out a Titanfall controller, and there was also a mocked up Titanfall Xbox One that people, part of the Respawn team, got, and they're all in the Titanfall colours, and this is the one weapon that seems to come in that colour.
Yeah, the controller's out. It's a UK game exclusive though, so so I don't know if it's overseas. But it's a UK thing.
Oh, it is out now.
Yeah, you can get it. It does look very nice.
It does look very sexy. But
yeah.
While we're talking about the control, one of the things ahead is it's so you can have even more finer tuned gaming and control. It's not something that I've really found a problem. I think the control with the standard Xbox One control with Titanfall works well. I don't know how you.
Well, I mean, as far as I was aware, there was a March Xbox One download. We had to update your controllers, and that was bringing the controllers up to standard. So I don't know if the new one is.
So it has become redundant, other than looking pretty.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I've just not read that it's superior. So
okay.
I just thought it would just look pretty.
Yeah, well, that's one of the concerns when they were first talking about it.
Yeah.
But we've got distracted. So we were, that was the car. It packs a bit more of a punch.
It's very, very good in close range. You just, if you're like you come face to face with another pilot, and I always feel like Greedo when I come across somebody with a car. I feel like I shot first, but it just like dead. Like they just mow me down.
It's a tiniest bit. It's a little bit slower than the one before, the R97, but it just packs that more punch. And then finally we come to probably my favourite gun in the entire game, the Spitfire LMG, which is the heavy machine gun. Effectively, it's a medium machine gun, but for long range that packs a punch, and it's a big fun, super firing cannon. It doesn't necessarily have quite the speed of the other two, but it really packs a punch, and it's got a good range, good close combat, good far away.
Does it slow your running down? Is it? Do you notice the weight like you would when you're running around with big gun in Call of Duty?
It might have a small effect, but it's not something that really I've particularly noticed.
Yeah. And
yeah.
It's
it's slow to reload and things, unless you have the fast reload.
But once you're shooting, you're just going to tear people's pieces.
Yeah, so they're the main weapons. Is there anything you want to sort of say more about those?
Well, you got the snipers.
The snipers, of course. Sorry,
so,
snipers.
for me, I found so the snipers you all start with just the basic scope on them. You haven't got anything particularly amazing. You have to unlock those, and I find the snipers really trying until you can get yourself like the 4 zoom sight on there. I find them to be just useless at what you want them to be able to do. You want to be able to shoot long range, but you can't. You haven't got the scope to see long range, so then your accuracy is just so poor. I've got myself into some good spots for sniping a few times, and I'm just emptying clips and clips and clips trying to kill people, and only being able to do any damage to grunts really because they just come and stand still. Whereas pilots just so quick, and they do jump around, and you just got to follow them and just shoot in air really. So I've shied away from the snipers until with your burn cards you can unlock ones. I got an amped one which come with a really good scope, so I tried that out. Very nice. It worked much better with a scope where I could actually sort of see the distance, and it just made it so much more accurate.
There's something weird about that scope. It's got the circles that I'm sure if you were actually trained in sniping stuff and you were using it in real life would actually be helpful, but the weird circles on the crosshair just don't seem to kind of find quite frustrating.
I haven't used the snipers enough to sort of really know if they take in all of the aspects that you have to take in when you're sniping. So like bullet drop distance and wind and things like that. I don't think that those laws apply. I think it is just plain just like a distance gun. So the little dots are a bit redundant because you don't have to aim high to take into account your bullet drop. So.
But is it the ACOG? When you've got the ACOG in it's weirdly becomes like a much more powerful version of the G2A4 we were talking about earlier, because it's so small that you can almost use it as a one-shot close range, medium range weapon rather than a sniper.
You could if the recoil wasn't as heavy as it is.
You can unlock things that stabilise that as well though later on.
Yeah, you just have to play it to unlock the stuff, and like I said, I found the snipers difficult, so I haven't unlocked as much as I would probably normally do if I was playing COD.
Yeah.
Because they're just very different.
And there's two of those. There's the longbow DMR, which is standard sort of sniper rifle, and then there's the Kraber AP, which is
much better,
but the same sort of thing.
The longbow I just have not used. It's just its recoil's even not that big, so it doesn't even really feel like you're actually packing a punch at all. It just feels a bit useless, unfortunately.
It made me actually turn my sensitivity up because the actual zoomed in sniping as well was so slow. It's actually so hard to track someone because it feels like you're lugging a cannon about at times, which is weird. But this isn't a massive sniper game, so I wouldn't say that's a big. If you are normally a sniper, I guarantee you will have a lot of fun with other weapons and other things you can do.
I just wanted to put in there the brilliant thing about with you get all your different loadouts, and you can swap between guns once you're alive. You're not stuck with the loadout that you choose. So if you've chosen a sniper loadout and you're like, oh no, I wanted to be like I was swapped to carbine. You just go in, you press start, you just go in, you change it, and you immediately swap gun. So you have this. So you can just get up somewhere high and be like, I want the sniper out right now. So you just swap your loadout, get the sniper out, and then once you've moved on, you can just swap your gun again. So you're not stuck to your loadout. So you can in that way use the weapons more than you ever would really, because you're not stuck with the sniper once you've chose it. which means that it's much more handy.
The loadout switching is a beautiful thing. Yeah, you could effectively use every single one of your loadouts in one game in one go if you were going that long, which is kind of.
Well,
awesome.
I've never tried. I've only ever swapped once, so I don't know.
Awesome. I've only ever tried.
I'm assuming. Like
We're guessing.
I've gone in and gone, oh god, I didn't want this one, and I swapped it to another one, but I've never actually swapped a third time.
You have to check that out.
So yeah.
But the no death. There's no penalty. It just straight swap, which is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Brings us on to so we've got 3 different sidearms. The auto pistol, which is a wonderful thing, especially for trying to take down Titans, because it's got the machine firing and it also has quick reload. It's a very fun, quick.
Yeah, I mean it's a rival to. I mean, obviously, you've got to be lucky, but if you're coming across a pilot, you can take them down. I've often come across had a little fight with a pilot, and you jumping about with your little auto pistol. And I've had one sometimes when they're running around with their shotgun. So it's good enough to sort of give you a fighting chance.
Definitely, it's all aim for the centre mass and pray essentially, and you might do quite well.
Yeah, or just if you're just going to lose, just wall run away. Just wall run, jump, you're gone. You're never going to find you.
That brings us to the Hammond. Hammond is just standard sort of Beretta handgun.
Classic.
It fires when you press fire, and it's a gun and it's black. So there's not really much more you can say.
Yeah, the Wingman is it's like a Magnum, but without the distance. It does pack a punch, but it's also got big recoil. So I mean, I find many a time that it's not hitting the mark. Because obviously there's lots of dodging and running around going, and you're moving as well as your opponent moving, and the recoil sometimes I find you have to use it pretty close distance to sort of really be effective. But then that's why I stick it on when I've got my sniper. That's my sidearm and my sniper, because so you've got the close range there. But it is very nice.
It's kind of it's like the love child of like I said, a Magnum, or it reminds me a little bit of the pistol shotgun from COD, a little bit. It is a full-on hand cannon.
Yeah, that mixed with the sidearms they have in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it's also very pretty.
It is very pretty, yeah.
It's got very Battlestar Galactica Firefly type thing going on.
Yeah, it'd be sort of make some pretty awesome cosplay.
Yes,
it looks very nice. Yeah,
totally. So should we look at the Titan? The Titans themselves?
Yeah, I mean, we keep mentioning them lots and talking about them lots, so we should probably jump in and say, that.
Yeah, so there's 3 Titans overall, and that's it for the minute. It's very complicated how they have to code it and how everything interacts with what's going on in the game, because there is so much going on in the game. You've got the Alice you start with, the Strider you unlock after they've completed the militia campaign, and then the Ogre you finally unlock after doing the IMC
campaign.
Well, version of the campaign. So do you want to talk about the Alice?
Well, the Atlas is like standard. That's the one that we all played with in the beta, and I think it's a really good all rounder. It's not obviously it's not as big as Ogre, which is like the tank, but it's got good speed and it's got good durability. So it's my second favourite. I don't know. It's pegged at first because I like how all round it is. With the Ogre, it is a big beast, so it's pretty slow. Strider is just too skinny for our liking at the moment. That's the little nimble one, which has got lots of dashes. It's very quick, but it's it takes damage so quickly.
Apparently made of tissue paper, the Strider. But yeah, it's very, very.
But I have seen people use it really effectively. I mean, I think it's. I think once you get in your Titan, you just want to all out battle. You feel a bit invincible, so you're happy to just wade in to battles with other Titans and just take them on. Whereas with a Strider, you just got to change your tactics, and it's all about sort of dashing and ducking and covering and just shooting, and then jumping out of the way while they're distracted, and it's really good for attacking other pilots, and because it's faster and quicker, you can you're just more aware of the grunts and the spectres and the pilots around you, so you can just take them down.
Actually, avoiding getting radioed as well, avoiding getting the pilots on you trying to take you down, because the extra dashes.
Yeah, just because you've got the speed. It's and then the tank is exactly, the ogre is exactly what you think it's going to be. It's just something that you can just, it's perfect for Seb. You just wade in and just like, you're meleeing. You can melee in with your ogres and you can punch stuff. And I think if Seb could have it, he wouldn't have any guns and he would just go in and melee everybody. And so he loves the ogre because it just enables him to get close to people so he can punch them.
I think you can punch with other titans, but it's very
you can punch with other titans,
much
but you can't punch as well with the ogre as you can.
It's just a behemoth, and it takes that much more pain and can. Well, obviously they can have all the weapons we'll talk about in a bit, but it just takes a lot more. And with the ogre, you've also got so each titan has their own core ability. So ogres has a shield core. So once you've done enough damage or taken enough damage, you can put the shield up, so you last even longer and are even harder. The Strider has a dash core, so you can dash even more, which just I still can't get my head around all the point. It's like you've taken enough damage to almost die to get this. Now you can run away.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's not my choice of Titan. And then go on. The Atlas has got the damage core, which comes in very, very handy. Although, I mean, I always get the damage core. I load it up and then bam, I'm dead. So it's not very effective for me. But then I'm not really. I do like the Titan, but I am more of a, because you can call your Titan in and you can get in it, or you can put it into auto mode where it either follows you, or you can put it in guard mode. So if you're playing like hardpoint and you want it to lock down C, you get it to drop down at C and just click down on the D-pad and it'll go into guard mode and it'll just stay there and it will engage any sort of enemies that come its way. Or you can get it to follow you around and it just keeps within a certain distance of you around the entire map. And that is me. I'm just like, I call my Titan in all the time. I barely ever get in it. It just comes running around with me, and it's just a good distraction. Although you can tell, when a Titan is an auto Titan, it does. When you look at it, it tells you above it that it's an auto Titan, so you know that there's nobody in it, for both sides. But it does work. I mean, because I don't think everybody notices that. It's like when you jump on and you rodeo a Titan to destroy it. I don't think everyone notices that you jumped on the back. So
Auto Titan will always kneel down.
Yeah, when you jump on the back of an auto Titan, it sort of just flops over, and it's just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. So you can just other people can see, they'll know from the way that the Titan is that there's somebody on the back of it. Whereas if you jump on a Titan that's occupied, it just, because it's being controlled, it just carries on as normal unless the player jumps out and deals with you. Or if they've got, there's an ability that your Titan can have called electric smoke, and they can deploy that, and it's just this big smoke cloud that just electrifies you unless you either get off and get out of the smoke, or you just die.
Talking about radioing though, both running up and getting into your Titan, there are various lovely animations from you jumping up, getting inside, or
you jump
grabbing
from
you.
Any angle, and it'll do a little bit different. You come in from behind under the feet, and you slide under, and you jump in, or it puts an arm out and helps you in and stuff. It's all got some really nice, swift animations to that.
And then when you rodeo, you jump on, and each Titan has a different sort of hatch where its brain canister is effectively, and then you wrench that off and start blapping inside.
Yeah, take it down.
So, should we talk about the guns that take down the Titans, or do you want to talk about Titan guns?
Let's stick on the Titans. Because we've got Titan abilities and stuff like that. We keep mentioning a few, and we haven't sort of gone through them all.
So the guns for you've got the chain gun, which is your huge, massive machine gun, which is, I would say, by far my favourite for the Titan, because when you're in the Titan itself, it has the most accuracy, and it doesn't necessarily do the most damage, but you can get an extended mag for it. You can even get I can't think what it's called, but it's effectively a spooling spinner, which makes it do more damage the more it fires. So that's quite lovely.
Plus, it's accurate at shooting, other pilots and grunts and stuff. I mean, some of the weapons you have in the Titan, they're kind of overpowered for taking down a pilot, whereas the chain gun, and just hopefully take out a pilot.
Yeah, this is one of them far more precision weapon than ordnance, which most of the other sort of Titan weapons are fairly ordnance related. Like the quad rocket, it fires 4 rockets, as you can imagine, but they are huge twisting things that swing through. They can take out a lot of people in one go.
Yep.
But they have as accurate as a mouse trying to throw a toffee apple at a monkey. Yeah, not so good. But it can be a lot of fun and devastating at the same time.
What's the
So there's which one you think
the triple threat? That's the Titan one, isn't it? That one is that's pretty good. Just like what's that? Shoots out like 3 grenades, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a triple grenade launcher.
But you can use that as well. I was playing with somebody the other day and jumped on their Titan, shooting them down, and they just like triple threat into a wall, and then just turned their Titan round. So the triple threat like blew up and just killed me on the back of the Titan.
That's
so
amazing.
you can use it. You can use it to as a defense as well, because I mean, the electric smoke is really really good, but it does take up a slot on your tactical ability. So I mean, as much as I do like using it, I'm kind of like, I want my vortex shield instead. So so it's good to know that you can choose a gun like the triple threat and sort of use that to deal with Titans, because it's a bit of a pain in the arse to have to like jump out of your Titan every time, and they know because there's a bit of an animation when you get out of your Titan, so when you're getting out they just jump off and they can just duck down somewhere and hide until you jump back in, and they just, well, that's what I do anyway, just jump back on again and just carry on doing what you were doing. So
just to balance the triple threat though, it is very good against infantry, but I don't see it being I haven't really very effective against Titans.
Other Titans, yeah. I mean, but then your Titan isn't just to fight other Titans as much as it really needs to be, because if if you're playing a game and the other team have got like 4 of their 6 Titans out and you've just got 1, you really feel it. You really can feel that they've got all the power, because I mean, as much as you might be cloaked and the Titans can't see you, I mean, the amount of times I get caught in crossfire, it's not even intended for me betwing Titans.
Accidental runovers.
Getting stepped on, and it sucks because they didn't even know you were there. Yeah, you can really feel the difference in the game when there's Titans on the field.
We've also got a plasma rifle which charges up and fires out burst of plasma.
It's got the highest damage rate of all the Titan guns, but I think it's also got the slowest fire rate because you have to charge it up. You can get different levels of charge. I think you can charge it up a little bit and shoot, and it doesn't do as much damage. But obviously you get some really really packed punch if you really charge it up. But much with like the laser cannon in Halo. I always find that I'm like, oh yeah, I see someone and I start charging it up, and then by the time I finish charging it, they're gone or I miss them. It's just
it's quite close to the Spartan laser now I think of it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And there is one of the rather tricky achievements is to shoot an escaping pilot who's been launched out of their Titan with a plasma rifle, which is going to be something that's definitely a few hours worth of
yeah, because most of the time when they inject they cloak immediately, and if you're in a Titan then you just, I mean, unless they're taking damage then you can't see them. That's very tricky. Yeah.
There's also the crazy fusion electric laser claw which fires out a big burst of electricity as well, which is very similar to one of the anti-Titan weapons.
Yes, yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were talking about the anti-Titan weapon then. That's how little I play playing the Titans, I don't know what their weapons are really.
But yeah, it's another hugely damaging thing, but takes time and charge thing. If you're going to take out Titans, it's a great thing. If you want to do anything else, it's not so good. There's various weapons for the Titans, but I really find myself sticking pretty much solidly with the chain gun.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few different Titan loadouts because, like I say, I just get it to follow me around. So sometimes having it on autopilot, I think it does better with weapons than I would if I was using it. You know, I'm really effective with the chain gun when I have the Titan on, but I think the Titan does pretty well with the quad rocket when I leave it on its own. So
they do. It starts off okay. Like it definitely gets kills and does things, but you can unlock later on a chip which makes it even more accurate. So then you spend even less time in the Titan because it's even more effective.
Yeah.
And there's one more gun we missed, which is the one you start with, which is it's 40 mm. It's not obviously not millimeters because it's huge, but it's 400. But the cannon, which is effectively a bomb single shot thing, it can be effective, relatively quick for how much damage it does. Can be all right for infantry. It's the multi-purpose gun without the accuracy and chain factor of the chain gun, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally use it, but I often find that, especially if you're playing like hardpoint, and I'm sitting by hardpoint, locking it down, and some enemy Titan will come along and they'll be shooting into the room. They can't even see me, but they obviously know I'm in there, and they'll be shooting into the room, and I'll just die from the explosion. So I think it can be. I mean, that's the great thing about the game is there's just so many different ways you can play it. So. I think that is effective because it's a rocket launcher, so it just explodes on impact, and you catch many people in the explosion. So
totally. And while speaking to Titan, just probably say, so at the beginning of each game there is a counter. I think it's 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Then when your Titan will come, and then the more you kill, the more points you basically earn throughout. It speeds up how quick your Titan comes, and then it drops down either from the sky in a huge whoosh, or if you have a warp form transmitter, which is one of the tiered perks we'll talk about a bit later.
I've never used that actually. I've never warped in a Titan. You can warp in a Titan, stops it. It brings it in quicker, but I've never used that.
So eventually deep striking.
Deep striking, yes.
Deep striking. And then you can have numerous Titans. The longer your Titan stays alive, obviously the longer it survives and does things. But the longer you do your thing, keep killing stuff, the quicker the next one will come. But that only starts to accrue again once the Titan is dead.
Yeah.
So you can't just have the greatest run with the Titan, lose your Titan, and be like, oh, another one's ready, because that would be ridiculous.
So,
anti-Titan weapons.
Yes, your pilot anti-Titan weapons. So each pilot you get a primary weapon, a sidearm, and you get an anti-Titan weapon. Which is extremely handy because there's lots of Titans. We've got.
So the Sidewinder, which is kind of the rocket machine gun.
Yeah, that's like the one you sort of start with, isn't it? And you think it's good until you unlock other ones, and then you realise that it's not as good, and there's better ones out there.
So kind of distinctly average. It does damage. It's got a good rate of fire. It can even take out infantry to a certain extent if you find yourself in a situation where you can't swap out.
It's like having an extremely overpowered.
Crazy overpowered machine gun.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just because it even looks like it, and
it still blows my mind that it's a rocket launcher because it doesn't seem like a rocket launcher.
No,
it's a machine. It's a big machine gun.
Yeah.
And there's the Arc, which is the Arc Heavy rocket. I think you also start with that.
Yes, yeah. And what's the like laser one?
I can't think what that's called off the top of my head. There's it's another electricity fusion, very powerful build up. It's like we said, it's the very similar.
You charge it up, and yeah. I've used that a few times, but I didn't find it to be because each Titan's got a shield. You have to take the shield down before you actually start doing damage to the actual Titan. And I found that one just didn't take the shield down as quick as I'd want to. I really like everything that just works at speed for me. So I sort of dropped that one and not played much with it. Not to say that I won't in the future. Just at the moment, I'm just all about the speed and dashing around. So I haven't used that one much.
Then there's the MLG, the magnetic grenade launcher.
So that's the one I use at the moment. It's a nice old grenade launcher. You can take out infantry and pilots with that as well because it is just a grenade launcher. And it locks on as well if you're quite close.
Magnetizes.
Yeah, of course. Yay! Yeah, so it locks on. Like that one's pretty speedy. You get a nice clip to it, and it's quick to reload.
You've got to get the old good. Everyone loves the good old grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Crosshairs.
Yeah, and that's my favourite.
So that's your favorite. I would go back to the Archer Heavy Rocket, which is by far my favourite. It's a proper big over-the-shoulder bazooka. It takes a little while to lock on, but when it locks on, it shoots off and hits really well. And it's kind of, unless the Titan dashes behind a building or something, it's kind of guaranteed to hit. The only problem is...
It does a nice amount of damage as well.
Very nice amount of damage. The only problem is if you duck, or it kind of corrects itself from the moment it shoots. So there is a chance that if you're flying out of a window, as happened to me the other day, someone dashed around the corner and I ended up firing at the frame, blowing my own face off. So that could be slightly annoying. But yeah, there's a variety. There's not that many anti-Titan weapons, but they're all effective in their own way, and it's kind of picking your own one.
Yeah, and like we said, you can jump on Titans and rodeo them, as it's called, and so there's more ways to kill a Titan than just with the weapon that you're given.
Do not, under any circumstances, use your anti-Titan weapon on the brain of a Titan.
Oh, you don't. Yes, because if you're shooting at a Titan with your anti-weapon out, and you jump onto the back of it, it will give you when it the animations end and you've got your gun to shoot, it will be your anti-Titan weapon, and if you use that weapon, it will just kill you. So you've got to swap. You've got to press the Y button and swap back to your other weapon to shoot with it, because in the beta we thought that you could do that with the Sidewinder. We just thought you could shoot for more damage, and then we just kept dying. We were like, why am I dying? And it was because we were using our anti-Titan weapons, and it was just like blowing back up in our face. This
close to my own face.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good. Grenades?
Grenades, yeah.
Rather simple. Frag.
Yeah.
Arc.
Which is just like your EMP grenade, basically.
But with a little bit of damage, which I think is quite nice. Like you can take a whole squad of grunts or spectres or things with it, which is quite nice.
Yes.
And you can kill people with it.
Yes, I've killed myself. I've killed myself many times with my arc grenade because I didn't think that it was... I just thought it was an EMP. But yes, it does explode and kill you.
And you've got satchel, which you're placed. Explosives, which you can detonate yourself.
It's like your C4, basically. You can't throw them very far. Like you sort of just chuck them. They're not like grenades. And then you've got the
arc mine.
The arc mine, which is really good for like hard points. Stick those at the entrances because they're just mines. So someone walks through and they just got EMP'd and blasted a bit because it does the damage, and then you can just take them out.
They kind of look like a claymore in that respect. Although there is something slightly weird about them. I'm not quite sure. Sometimes you can definitely get caught in the blast if someone else triggers them. But I definitely have triggered my own at times, and I don't understand why that is.
Well, I think they are just mines. They're not like claymores, which you can't activate yourself.
Yeah, so be careful where you put them if you're going to jump on them.
Yeah, they're just open to everybody. Once they're placed, anyone can activate them.
Yeah.
But then that wouldn't make sense because then your friendlies would be damaged by them. So maybe somebody
could be cloaked people.
Maybe somebody just activated while you were nearby.
Yeah. And all pilots will have tactical abilities too. There's cloak. We'll talk about cloak a bit more in a minute.
Are there really any other tactical abilities apart from cloak? I think that's the only one we use.
Yeah. The stim, which makes you faster and slightly more hardy and resilient, and you have a nice sort of weird rushing effect all around the screen.
Yes, nice and blue, like you're the Flash. Yeah. Running fast.
And then what else we got? There's the active radar pulse, which is very useful, but you need to remember to use it.
It's pretty disorientating as well, I find. It's so basically so every so often you give out this pulse, and you can see through walls, and your enemies will come up as like yellow stick men, and friendlies are blue stick men, or orange. Sorry, I think it's like a fiery yellow orange to be exact. And your friendlies will come up as like an aqua turquoise blue, but it's like, so you only get that like image from the blip. So when people are moving, you'll see them there, but you can sort of also see them over here because they're moving. And when I use it, I find it to be something you have to sort of learn how to read, because it's just a bit disorientating.
With the echolocation sort of factor to it, you where we said about how many buildings and stories and things, you can see someone And I like often quite embarrassingly find myself going, yes, brilliant, and firing at a wall because there's someone on the other side.
Yeah, it is really effective, and again, it's the fact that you can change loadouts. Although we're still not sure if you can do it more than once, but because you can change loadouts. I mean, it's great to have like you get to use all these things because you just stick that tactical ability on one of your loadouts, and if you're struggling in the game. Or you just want that edge, you can just swap onto that one. But then if you're deciding that actually no, I want cloak, just swap to another one that you've got cloaked on.
I need to try this now.
Do you not? Yeah, and what's the other one? No one ever uses the other one. Tactical ability.
It's just
the stim. Oh yeah, the stim. It just well, you can get. We're coming to burn cards in a second. So for me, I just don't really use stim very much. It's I mean I feel like I have enough pace anyway. If you wall run, you get some you get real good pace and go really really fast. And then also if you zip line somewhere, you can click in. I think it's the left or the right stick, and you just drop without any pace. Or you can press A and you'll drop from the zip line with your pace. So you can carry on, keep your momentum going. So. I just don't feel the need for a stim when I feel like the cloak is so superior.
The problem with using any other is you find yourself in a situation and you're like, quick cloak! Oh, I'm echolocating. No, that's not what I want to do.
Or you've already cloaked too much and it's just like, I've run out of cloak. Because it charges up. You can't have an infinite amount of these abilities. It's pretty much, it's very similar to Halo Reach. Press the left button for your ability. And you've got a certain amount of time, and then once that's depleted, it's got to recharge.
And the cloak is just amazing. Like it's not perfect. You're not invisible, but it's just really handy.
Yeah, it gives you that edge, but not too much of an edge. It doesn't overpower you too much. So, but it's a really good dynamic to the game.
Definitely.
Burn cards.
I was going to say about the tier 1 and 2 things before. Did bangers if you want.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So there's two lots. You have tier 1 and tier 2 tactical upgrades essentially, and there are so many different things for that upgrade your pilot or your Titan, from power cell, which make your abilities last longer and recharge quicker. You've got things like quick reload. You've got things like Guardian chip, which makes the Titans work better. You've got the ice pick, which makes hacking much quicker.
Oh, we haven't talked about hacking.
We have not talked about hacking.
Hacking is beautiful. When we did the beta and you have like the intro that you do just to sort of learn all the abilities, it teaches you how to hack, and you hack a console. But for the whole game, I mean, we were only playing like attrition, which is just standard like combat. I didn't really come across hacking apart from or hacking consoles, what I mean. So in the game now, you when you're playing hardpoint or not sure if there's any other ones, you can come across turrets and you have to hack. You use your knife to hack the turrets and take control of them, and they shoot everything. They shoot Titans, they shoot the grunts, the spectres, they shoot pilots, and you get all those points. They're all yours, and someone else can come along and hack it, and you can hack it back. But you can also, and this is the best feature, it's so good, is you can hack the spectres, which are like the robots that run around, and so you just go up to them, press X, and you have to hold it down, and it'll hack them. And not only does it hack that one, but if there's any enemy ones nearby, like they have to be quite close, it'll hack all those. And they don't just become, they don't just like change allegiance to your team. They become your personal spectres, and they run around and follow you. And then if you die, when you respawn, they'll just come back and find you. They don't stop being yours. They're yours until they are killed. It's just
the same as the Titans in that respect.
Yeah, and so the ice pick tier is really handy because it can take quite a while to hack. You have like 3 circles on your knife and it has to highlight all 3. Whereas when you have the ice pick, it's like boom, does like 1 circle and it's done, and you've hacked so quickly, so you're not vulnerable for as long. But yeah, I mean, I just like get myself little armies of spectres. Just like don't kill them, just go up to them, hack them, and you can get loads of them.
Because there's no limit. You can literally have a little metal army.
I don't think I've come across a limit, but they, obviously, spectres are a bit harder to kill than grunts, but they are pretty easy to kill. So they don't really last as long, but they're just good backup because sometimes I often find myself ignoring grunts. They're not like the smartest AIs, which I don't have a problem with, but sometimes it can be a mistake because they actually sometimes you get the one in a million that's actually like, no, I'm actually going to shoot you and I'm going to kill you. So I'm just like running off, ignoring them, or I'm reloading and just pretending they're not there, and then I've been killed by a grunt, and I feel really, really bad about it because that shouldn't happen. So it's really good to have little spectres helping you out and just.
It's like a metal shield.
Watching your six for you, yeah.
Okay. Well, while we mentioned spectres, before we go on to bone cards, we should probably say that you've got grunts who are there's the various levels of bots in the game because it's 6 versus 6 and most of the time. So you have 6 actual players. You've got grunts who are sort of the very low level AI, sort of relatively one shot kill or one amount of damage. We should say with machine guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Kill, and they kind of bumble around the map, and you basically run around kicking them in the face and breaking their necks. They don't really do much.
Yeah, they're not really a threat.
Out from that is the spectres. We talked about the robots. Again, they're like 2 amounts of damage and they're a little bit more effective. But then you also sometimes you get the militia. Now, these are essentially better grunts. And these are the grunts which you will happen to you at some point. You'll be rather embarrassed because
they're the ones that you ignore because you just think they're grunts and you're just like, whatever, sod you. And then they're the ones that try to kill you.
Yeah.
I got kicked by a spectre the other day, and I didn't even notice it. It was this puny that it kicked me 4 times to kill me, and I was just like la la la, hacking another spectre, and it killed me. I was so not pleased.
Yeah, but the militia will also gun you down if you're not aware and treating them like normal grunts. Yeah.
Yes.
So this adds. So there are 6 players, but you've got the spectres, the grunts, and the militia, all, and the titans, obviously, and the dragons on Boneyard. There's a lot.
Yeah, we might as well jump to this point straight away because I mean it's right from when the beta came out. It was lots of controversy and people sort of not happy that there's only 6 versus 6, and I think until you play the game, you might think that's a problem, but I mean. We've talked about how big the maps are, and it doesn't feel like that. They don't feel empty. I mean, the grunts and the spectres and the militias, they populate the map really well. I mean, they keep dropping in for the entire game, and
rather cool drop pods as well, or
they zip line in from planes and stuff,
yeah.
and they can be ignored, or you can shoot them to help you because any kill helps with your Titanfall time. So they can be killed or they can be ignored, and I have no problem with the amount of pilots. I think 6 has proven to be fine for me. I mean, I don't feel like I never come across them. In fact, it forces you to the game to be so much more close quartered because you can't just sit out in the back or anything. And
just so much going on.
So much going on. There's so there's so much speed and pace of the game, as I've said before. But I don't think, and the biggest thing is you have 12. You can have 12, the maximum of 12 titans in the game, and that feels epic. I can't. If you added any more titans to the match, it would just be more chaos than it already is. I don't think that.
I don't think it even handle it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that you can have the titans running around on autopilot, so you have got. So you just got. There's so many ways that the game is populated quite well.
12 pilots. You can have 12 titans. You have got all sorts of drop pods of militia spectres and things going on. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and some of the levels, like I say, you got the sort of dragony things. That I haven't seen them take off an actual pilot, but they do swoop down and kill spectres and militia and things like that. And I do believe that you can kill them. Yeah,
they're very difficult to kill. You can't kill them with Titan weapons, but you do get 100 XP for the dragons on Boneyard. But saying what the dragons taking the grunts, this is another thing that the grunts and the bots do, which I think really adds something to it. If you wipe out a squad of grunts and there's one left, they'll start screaming how their whole squad's been killed and radioing for support. If you injure, because you can injure them without actually killing them at times.
Yeah.
And they will actually drag them into cover and start trying to look after them.
Yep.
You can run across your own grunts and an enemy's grunt engaged in a battle.
Hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. It's just got little elements, and it's just different. It's just refreshingly different, nice fluff really, because it doesn't have a campaign. We haven't touched on that yet. It has got a campaign, but it doesn't have like a traditional campaign. The campaign is just sort of inserted in around the online games. It's not every game. You have like a sort of campaign mode that you go to, and you play. What was it, 8?
There's nine, yeah, nine missions.
9 missions. And there'll be voiceovers and small little videos inserted in between the matches, or sometimes at the beginning, sometimes at the end of the matches. And it's a really minimalistic campaign. And I must say, I didn't really pay attention to it, but I never really do. I don't play the campaign to COD. I don't play the campaign to Battlefield like the 1 or 2 times I've played that game. But you have to play it to unlock your the other
The
Titan.
Strider and the Ogre.
Yeah, so you have to play it if you want those options. But I appreciate how sort of minimalistic Respawn have kept it. It's just voiceovers and a few small videos. So they haven't spent loads of money and they haven't spent loads of time on it. And I think it shows in the game, in the actual multiplayer, how much time they have spent on what you actually want to play. Because I just don't think that I think that we can move on from campaigns. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want campaigns, because I love the Halo campaigns and and things like that. I think that the single player games are still completely valid. But for me, for shooters, I'm happy to sort of accept a game that's not got a campaign.
But they've put their love and their time into making the multiplayer amazing. And just to sort of clarify about the campaign, so they've got 9 missions. You start as the militia. There's a weird intro when you start the game, which kind of sets the tone, but without really saying much. There's like a whisper about someone being betrayed, and lots of pictures of the fact that we're now more in the future than we are now.
Yeah, it's pretty vague.
But so you start off as the militia, who kind of are reminiscent of the innies from the Halo universe, or the brown coats and the dirt devils from the Firefly verse. They're on the outer rim of the planets, it seems. They don't want to be under the yoke of the IMC, who are the UNSC, or are the Alliance, or the Imperium of Man, or anything like that. Generic military power organisation. And as you go along, you fight as the militia to try and recruit some people who once worked for the IMC, get some more intelligence, and you're trying to take down their Spectre production and take down their base of operations. And you play through the militia, and then you play through the second half of the campaign as the IMC and do the same missions. There are some great... The intros to the levels are really good. Sometimes like that. Some of the final levels, you get dropped down and there's people ripping Titans apart, or there's a guy who bursts out the top of his Titan and is like, "Come on, we're going to do this." And you're like, yeah, we are going to do this. It sounds awesome. And they talk to each other and go, "Please don't kill. Can we just be friends?" And they're like, "No, we can't be friends." All that stuff sort of happens. But it is just multiplayer. You have like an attrition level, you have hardpoint levels, well, just hardpoint attrition levels, I think, throughout the game. And different things happen depending on who wins the game, but only in the end. Like, it only changes the end step or the end consequence of the mission. It has no greater effect on the campaign at large. If you can lose every single mission as the militia,
but you still play the same levels.
Yeah.
It's just the outcome that changes depending on if you win or lose.
There's another achievement, which is win everything with everybody, which is very hard. Now, this comes to a point of contention, because myself and a few other people have noticed this, but it wasn't quite the case with Sarah. It does seem that the IMC, because they are kind of the underdogs...
No, the militia.
The militia are the underdogs. It seems like the lower level people are often put on the militia side, and the more higher ranking people are put on the IMC side, making it more difficult for the militia.
When you start the campaign, you start as the militia. Yeah. So, and if you carry on playing it through, so you'll play the entire campaign as the militia, and then if you continue on, you then play as the IMC. So then it would make sense that you've played 5 matches, and then you start playing as the IMC, and you're going to be playing other people who are playing militia who have just started. So you're going to be at the very least sort of 4 or 5 games ahead of them.
Yeah, and it does seem harder for the militia, but that's kind of an interesting aspect to it in itself.
But you can go back and play the campaign again anytime you like.
And pick levels. So
yeah, you pick levels. So once you've played, you know, like you can jump back in again, as militia or IMC. But I mean, for me, when I first played, the teams that I were with, we won every single militia game, and then once I was the IMC, I lost every single IMC game. So
it still does.
You know, like it's not a proven theory because we haven't tested it enough, but just our experiences have both been different.
Or maybe you're leading your team to victory. So there are other game modes we should probably talk about. So yeah, you either choose play campaign, which is that, or play classic. And in classic, you've got attrition, which is your deathmatch. You've got hardpoint, which is your domination and warzone type thing.
Yeah.
You've got last Titan standing, which is where you all start in one Titan and you have one Titan and it's just kill everybody else's
You all start in one Titan on your own.
There's
not one super Titan.
You don't turn into Power Rangers.
All 12 of you drop down into Titans straight away. There's no calling them in. You start in them, and it's just a battle to see which team wins. And you keep like switching sides. It goes on for quite a while because you've got one. So once you die, once you're dead, you're like you don't respawn, so you watch the rest of the match, and then you switch sides, and then you respawn again, and so you get a couple of chances to try and be the last Titan standing. I don't think you have to be the last Titan standing. It's more like no Titans left on the other team. Is more what it should be called, but that doesn't sound as good.
Yeah. It would be interesting if they added something where it was all on all. Last Titan standing would be crazy.
All against all would be pretty insane. There isn't actually any all against all mode yet.
No.
I can imagine they probably will add that later because that would be something I'd like to see. Everybody against everyone. Although I'm not quite sure how with that aspect how the sort of the grunts and the spectres and the militia would interact there because where would their allegiance be? So maybe they won't add that. Maybe not.
Well, you could be attacking the factory and they're just against everybody. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, you could just put all the militia against everybody. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
But the thing with Last Titan Standing is you need to group. You need to stay together. If you run away, you're going to get flanked and you're going to get destroyed. It's probably our least favourite version. It's nice for a bit of variety.
It's a bit too prolonged. Sorry to cut you off. It does just go. It'd be great if it was just like 1 or 2 matches, or best of 3. But it goes on for quite a while. So it's just you just get a bit tired of it, especially if you're on a team that just doesn't coordinate. Because like I say, the moment that you all split up and start going the wrong, like separate ways, you're bound to lose because like 1 Titan on 1, you're fine. But once you add another Titan into that, if it's 2 on 1, you're guaranteed to lose. And so if it's 6 on 1, it's not going to go well.
And the old AI in the Titan will start screaming that you are ridiculously outnumbered and you probably should run away.
Yeah, which you won't.
No. We've also got Pilot Hunter. Essentially, it's deathmatch again, like attrition, but you only get points for pilot kills.
Yeah, because you only score points for killing pilots.
You still get your XP for everything else, but it's just pilot kills. I'd say it's probably would be my second least favourite mode, just because I'd like to be killing everything all the time, just going crazy in attrition.
Yeah, it's always fun to sneak up behind the grunt's back and snap its neck and get points for it. And
Catch the Flag is the last one.
Classic Catch the Flag, last one.
I don't really like Catch the Flag normally, but with everything that's going on, it's just mental.
Oh, it's great that you can just capture the flag with your Titan and you just got this Titan running around with a little flag in its hand, so that's always fun.
Yeah.
It's just a good. It's always good to have different focal points for the game. It just keeps it different, doesn't it? I mean, it means that it's not all focused in like one spot, or it's not all like just got no focus and a bit sort of open. So when you've got capture the flag, it's good, especially if you're coordinating well with your team, and you've got like people that stay defending and people that go attacking. It's always good, I think.
Although it's quite difficult to get. You don't always necessarily have team unity.
No, we should all really just have our connect mics just left on and yell at each other. I think that should be the best thing we should do. But
we spend most of our time vacillating between attrition and hardpoint, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are some levels I like better playing hardpoint on them because you just can predict better where people are going to be. I find that I find better places to be that I can just get some really really good kills and really good streaks going. But then there are other levels that I really enjoy playing attrition on. There's one level in particular, which is if you play hardpoint on it, it's the one that's I can't remember what it's called, but you're the furthest to go to reach any of the hard points. Like you drop down, and normally your one hard point is just like right in front of you, whereas this one they're all right really far away. And I thought that it was a really good hardpoint game until I played attrition on it, and then everybody's on the rooftops. I find, and this is one of the levels where you've got like 3 stories. And 3 or 4, and it's just so fun. Like everybody's on the rooftops and you all duck in, and it's quite like got small alleyways and stuff in it, so you can just like disappear and wall run and get some really good like speed going. And I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, and there's and you can stick the old variety mode on, and you get a bit of everything.
Yeah,
and then get a little bit annoyed when you get last time standing twice in a row.
Yes, yeah.
So there's 15 maps in its entirety. And there's a great variety in sort of size and in what's going on. And you've got like the Titan training ground, which is where you actually do your training before you play the game. There's a huge factory that produces the Spectres. There's the boneyard with crazy dragons flying around and huge dinosaur skeletons and things about.
And you've got the scrapyard, and you've got like Angel City. And yeah, you've got like a really good variety. Ones that are completely like mainly outside with a few sort of interior buildings, or ones that are predominantly indoors, or ones that have a really big mix. So it's I'm just not going to get bored anytime soon. Like I said as well, with the different game modes, you can have such different games depending each level that you're on. So really nice variety of 15 maps.
Definitely.
And obviously they're going to probably add more when the DLC comes, so there's going to be even more to choose from.
Yeah, it's predicted there's going to be 3 lots of 3 sets of maps for the DLCs coming in spring, summer, and presumably winter.
Pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah, which would be $10 each, obviously a bit. I'm not sure what that would be in the UK, and then $5 less if you buy the season pass for the lot, which we will definitely be doing straight away. And there are whispers that there could be more game modes coming with those as well. But as I said, no talk of any more Titans for the time being, just because Respawn is saying it's just so difficult to balance everything and code everything to work.
Yeah, I think it was the I can't remember the lady in charge, Vice lady. She was saying that when they have to, to get all the Titans to use all the different abilities, to get them to work all together, and then to get them to work against enemies, and to have that everything that a Titan can do with a pilot or without a pilot functioning in the environment is quite complex, and so they haven't got any plans to add any new Titans yet.
Well, they were quite lucky because it was just going to be the Atlas. It was, I think, quite late. Quite late on in proceedings that they actually added the Strider and the Ogre because it was so difficult to do this.
Yeah.
I think the last thing we were going to talk about before we talk about get a critical thing to look towards the future is burn cards, because we mentioned them quite a few times. We didn't actually quite get to them. Burn cards are something you unlock at level 7. You get a letter, a secret mail letter when you finish the game, and you get essentially a bunch of cards. You start off with 1 slot, and then you add 2, and then up to 3. Basically, there are variously amped weapons, so leveled up and unlocked weapons that you haven't unlocked yet. You can get unlimited various grenades. Although that's not throw. It's a bit like the ability. You get your 2 that you would normally have, and then it reloads, and you can keep going.
Yeah, they're just sort of like amping up aspects of the game, sort of thing. So you can only choose maximum of 3 once you unlock all those, and once you use one, it's gone. So when you it's between each death or like your first sort of loading in, you can choose it's 1 burn card per life, and so you just press the Y button when you're choosing your loadout, and you select a burn card as well. And yeah, they do a multitude of things just to sort of give you an edge. you can really feel the difference when you're fighting somebody that's got an amped weapon, which I think you only really get with burn cards. They're and
yeah, they're much more powerful. If you find yourself in a firefight, you think, I really should have won that, chances are they had an amped weapon, to be honest.
I mean, whenever you die, it tells you, a little thing comes up and it says who they were and what weapon they were using to kill you, so you can see straight away that they had an amped weapon.
But there's so many. I'm trying to think. There's various ones that take time off Titan building. You can have Titans that are ready to go right at the beginning of the game, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, you get one that where you can just automatically hacks nearby spectres and they become yours.
And same with grunts as well.
Same with grunts, you get grunts that fight for you. You can have one that makes them ignore you, so they just pretend you're not there. You have one that gives you a spectre camo, so you just look and you sound like a spectre.
So people are kind of ignore you a bit.
So yeah, I mean, because like we say, we ignore them, other people do. So you've got that sort of chance that you're going to kill somebody, or they're not going to notice you. Yeah, there's a whole array of burn cards, and they just add a really nice level to the game. I mean, most of the time I forget to use them. I'm so like, you know, I'm already pressing. Once I've died, I'm like, respawn. I'm like, oh, I should have chosen a burn card, but you can't choose it once you're in the game.
My personal favourite got to be though rematch, which, as you can imagine, you basically spawn when you died. It does. I only ever had this happen to me once, which is really weird because it actually tells the other person that you have rematched. It says that they've done that, but you come back to life and you kill the person that killed you, essentially, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you do respawn exactly where you died. Like I used it once, and there was a guy hiding in a corner, and he killed me. And I didn't see where he was or anything, so I just thought, I'm just going to respawn and like know he's in the area, and I just respawn right in front of him again. So he just shot me again. So a bit of a wasted card. So, but yeah, but it is handy. But it does warn the person that killed you. They say, oh, he's going to hold a grudge. So so they know that there's somebody that you person they just killed is going to respawn right where you killed them.
Yeah, it's just another bit of flavour, another I don't know, soup on of randomness and craziness to the melting pot that is Titanfall. One last thing, there's 50 levels that you go through, and you unlock various weapons and things as you go through them, and then there are 10 regenerations, which is your prestiging.
Yeah.
But there's one very cool thing about I literally got my first regeneration today, which made me very happy. But there's very specific challenges for each one, so you don't. So like for this, what am I saying? Essentially, for the second one, you have to get all the shotgun challenges, otherwise you can't get it. Yeah, and then further down the line, you have to get all the sniper ones. So you can't just keep doing the same challenges, getting the XP, and going to the next regeneration. I think it's nice because it's forcing you to use everything.
Yeah.
And get more FA with all the weapons.
Yeah, which I mean, people might find that really trying, but I mean, I think it's always good to sort of have to use weapons because sometimes you write stuff off, and once you actually get used to it and start using it, you'll find that it's really actually a good, effective weapon. So, yeah.
Definitely. So, is there anything you want to sort of say and like that you'd like to see in the future, or what you could be critical about?
So in the future, I would definitely like to. I'd like to see a little bit of customization. At the moment, you can't. You can't choose, and there's no emblems. You can't like choose a color scheme or anything like that. And
it's just gender, isn't it? And
you just choose a gender, and but I wouldn't mind maybe having some sort of emblem that you can stick on your Titan, and definitely I wouldn't mind being able to choose some color schemes. But I mean, I don't feel like I need anything that's too extensive like Halo, where you can have so many different shoulder pads and all the different things you can do. That I don't feel like I need that. But I wouldn't mind like being able to make my pilot orange.
Yeah, that would
although I'd stick out like a sore thumb.
There are different models depending on which primary weapon you choose. It changes the model of what your pilot will be, and then you can change the gender between those as well. So there's a variety. There is a good variety of what the guy can look like. You just can't. Or lady, you can't change what they look like. Yeah. If that makes sense. And there's something I was going to say, but we said about gender. You can really see the female pilots. This is something that maybe not actually want to play as.
Yeah, I started playing as a female pilot, and but then I noticed that for me when I was shooting other pilots, sometimes the depending on the weapon loadout they've got, so how they look. some of the male pilots, they can actually like blend in pretty well with like grunts and militia. Whereas as a female, you don't at all. There aren't any female grunts or militia in the game, so you know, like you really notice when there's a female pilot running around. So I stopped being female just to give myself that edge, so that I'm, you know, have the chance that I might blend in with the militia.
So maybe some female grunts would actually be
I think
be beneficial.
It would be nice to see some female grunts and stuff, so that you're just not so obvious as a female pilot. Something else I'd really like to see added to the game is so as a pilot you can jump onto friendly Titans that aren't your own, and you just ride along on them and you can shoot over their shoulder, and you're protected by the shield that encompasses the Titan. And I would really like to see like a bit like Battlefield 4 or Battlefield, where you can have the repair gun. So I'd love to be able to like jump on the back of a Titan and just like start repairing it, you know, like, so just to make it last longer.
That'd be such an awesome addition.
that would be I think that'd be a really, really good aspect. And
also, burning your grunt's face off with the blowtorch would be quite fun if that was the kind of thing they came with.
Yeah, I just think it would just be really interesting to just have that sort of ability. But I mean, I hope, but it can't be too overpowered. You couldn't repair too much or like too quickly, because and you'd have to obviously maybe sacrifice an ability or your sidearm for that. So
that'd be interesting. Yeah, like if you for instance, like a blowtorch instead of your handgun would be quite awesome trade-off.
So I would like that to be added to the game. And the other thing I thought would be awesome as well is if you could, because as a Titan you could punch, as I said earlier. I'd really like to see like a Titan melee weapon. You know, if you could have like some sort of like hammer or sword. I think that would be really good. But also I think from what we were saying earlier about how hard they find it to put Titans into the game, I can't imagine they'll do that. But I mean, I'd love to have a hammer, or maybe a step. You know, like you can with the sort of things in Halo, you can like stomp on the ground, can't you? And it sort of shakes off nearby like enemies and things. I think that could be really effective as well.
That'd be awesome. Also, like if we're like they've confirmed they're going to be they've secured the rights. Is it
Respawn and made it EA published it. Yeah.
And they've taken the rights for Titanfall 2, so there will be a Titanfall 2. It would be almost awesome if you could have a specific tactical thing, which, because the smoke's the only thing you can get someone off you. If there was an odd thing you could do, like to flick someone off, that would be quite awesome too.
Because it'd be nice to have some sort of way to deal with rodeoing a bit more effectively. Because like I said, jumping in and out of your Titan isn't always the best way to do it, and I mean, and you don't really sometimes want to sacrifice your other abilities for the smoke.
I just seen another point you put down here that it's 90 seconds in the lobby. It seems quite a long time.
Yeah, when you're sitting in the lobby between games, it's 90 seconds, and sometimes I find that's quite a good amount of time, especially if you've used all your burn cards, or you've unlocked a new weapon or anything new on your weapon, and you're fiddling with your loadouts. But most of the time, I think that 90 seconds is quite long. I mean, 60 is, I guess, a good average. I mean, when we were playing the beta, really found that the 90 seconds was so long, because you just got not much to fiddle with. You haven't got many choices for your loadouts and things like that, so you are literally just sitting and waiting for another game. So yeah, I felt like 90 seconds was a bit too generous.
Even just some more facts and artwork was scrolling at the top, or stuff going on. It's like when
Todd had fluff, and you get some background,
the light map of where people are and stuff. Like, I know it's not that interesting, but it's another little thing to look at.
Yeah, I mean, nice. They could put some dates of some stuff that's happened in their fictional world, could be quite good.
Yeah.
Now, another big point that we haven't brought up yet is that there is no split screen. And I mean, when I first heard that, I was pretty bummed, because like me and Seb game together all the time, so I mean, we don't have problems sort of like switching one in, one out sort of thing.
We kind of got a good system of 3 in, 3 out because you want to have a good session.
Yeah, and they have, to be fair, Titanfall, they've made it easy to switch between profiles. I mean, it could be a little bit easier, but like you as your person, you have to leave the lobby and then you just sort of switch profiles and load back in. It doesn't take very long, but it's just, I mean, I know that there's coding in the game for split screen, so I mean, I don't know. I saw that someone had found that there was the coding for that, so I don't know if that's something they considered a while ago and decided to drop it, or if it's something they're going to bring in another point. But I mean, I did when they first announced that there wasn't going to be any split screen, they sort of justified it by saying, like there's so much going on in the game and keeping frame rates up and that like they didn't think that the game would be able to handle like the 2 players at once or something. So I mean, it's not a problem. Like, we've accepted it and moved on, but I would still like to see it because I just think it's I think there's a lot of households out there that families and couples that game together and not necessarily just gaming with friends online. In fact, we don't often game with friends online. It is just us two, so it would be nice to be able to play together.
It seems to be the bane of the Xbox One so far, because remember, we were very disappointed that there was no either co-op mode for Rise in the campaign, or even when you're doing the 2-player online stuff. There seems to be, and again with FIFA, it seems to freak out. There seems to be a thing with the Xbox One where it wants a lead profile. It wants one person in charge, and that, I don't know if that is something that's really affecting the 2-player options, as well as we said, the frame rate and the amount of stuff going on.
I think it's also developers as well. I mean, but I don't know how long Battlefield's not been split screen. Like I know that you can't co-op on multiplayer. I mean, Call of Duty, you could always multiplayer 4 people, but with the new game Ghost, they've knocked it down to 2. I think it's a way, sort of the way the developers are going.
Yeah.
They're trying to make games very sort of single player central, which is a shame, really, because like I said, like there's so many people that play on the same console in the same room, so it's a shame.
That would be nice.
And I would like to. Like especially if they found the coding in sort of the script and the game.
Yeah, like so what is going on there? Like maybe we could see something like that in the future.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot of things. There was one other thing when I'm talking about the DLCs. There were rumours of more aliens and monsters and things like the dragons that can be found in Boneyard, which could be interesting. But again, it's the difficulty of having them interacting with the map and the players and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they could be.
I mean, if they bring those
stuff
in, like if they bring sort of make the aliens and the sort of the animals in the scenery more interactive, I'd love to see a horde mode like Gears of War. That
wow.
would, I mean, just with your Titans, you could, it'd be a bit like Last Titan Standing and drop yourself in with your Titans, and you've got to fight as many.
Purging the Bone Horde.
Yeah, as many rounds.
Awesome.
Of the monsters you can, that would be really, really good, but I think that's wishful thinking as well. As well as a hammer and a sword.
We can all come up with many things they want, because I've just got this image of the Titan with a massive shield, a Titan shield and a sword, and it's all turning into kind of the Imperial Knight Titans from Warhammer. And I think it's been Titan season, hasn't it? Titanfall and the Imperial Knight Titan with 40k. But yeah, it's just freaking amazing. And if you can handle the 6 players and all the other stuff that's going on, which you will be able to if you play it, like, I just can't recommend it more. I'm not even a huge, other than Halo, kind of multiplayer guy, really. I'm not really a COD person, but I just love it. And so we wanted to say a bit more about things and then do this sort of gushing at the end.
I mean, it's for like, it's eclipsed any other game that's come out or is coming out on the Xbox so far. I mean, I know Destiny is not too far around the corner, and I'm excited for that. But I'm also I'm not like wearing to get it on like release day anymore, because this game is just so entertaining. It's just endless fun for us as well. I mean,
it's a huge gauntlet.
I'm surprised that we're being as civil as we are to each other, and we've managed to sort out a 3-game sort of thing. where we sort of play 3 games and then swap over. I think that's the most civilized we've ever been, and because it's just so much fun, and it's actually just interesting and entertaining to watch people as well, and especially because there's so much stuff you could do, so many places you can get your character to. So you watch somebody else play and you're like, oh, I didn't think I could get up there, or like you just
You kind of have a 2-player mode. You can kind of act like a spotter at times.
Yes, you can totally, because there's so much going on. So many times you sort of you've got keen eyes when you're not playing.
Definitely. Well, I think we've been talking for quite a long time about this now. Before we wrap it up,
This is how much we like the game.
Yeah, essentially, it is awesome. I would easily 11 out of 10 for me. And what would you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, with a few things that we've sort of got to say sort of bad about it. I feel like we have to put those in. It's but I just there's not much I can fault it for. There's just
I'm actually afraid of how good Titanfall 2 will be.
It'd be amazing. Yeah. Yes, but that's way ahead of the thing. I have been Darth Sebious. You can find me on darthsebious.com, which is my personal Tumblr full of all geekery and stuff. Yours is... I'm the 14thCylon, and I am the14thCylon.tumblr.com. Check us out. We're both from Allies Index,
which is allysindex.com, and that's for a place for all things geeky gaming. And if you ever want to get involved, if you want to respond and tell us what you think, if you disagree with us,
I'd love to hear some opinions on other people's, because we're living in our own little Titanfall world here. So I'd love to sort of hear how other people enjoy the game and what you'd like to see in the DLC, and any improvements that you think should be there.
And basically anything to do with geeky gaming, collectible card games, board games, video games, tabletop, role-playing, any of that stuff. If you want to share things you've done or want to get involved in Allies Index in any way, come check us out, allysindex.com, allysindex.tumblr. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, but best to get hold of us through Tumblr. And you're more than welcome to get involved, or just enjoy the geekery that flows. And so thank you very much, and we'll hopefully be doing something like this again soon.
Yeah, thanks very much for listening.
Tidy bye.